Hello and welcome to our Emotionally Healthy Schools podcast series, where we are showcasing and celebrating good practice in some of our Derby City schools. Today I'm joined by Claire, who is the designated senior lead for mental health at Ivy House School. Hello Claire.
Hello Ingrid.
So tell us a bit about Ivy House School.
So Ivy House School is a special school in Derby City, and we have children with profound and multiple learning difficulties and disabilities, and children with really complex health needs and life-limiting conditions. So we have children from the age of 2 to 19, and we have currently 80 children on roll. So we're quite a small school. But with quite a big age range, and we've got quite a lot of staff, so we've got quite a high staffing ratio to children.
And so obviously at the start of this journey, you were looking at mental health within your school. What did you identify as being the key areas, issues within your school?
Yeah. So when we first started the award, one of the first things that we did was to send out a staff questionnaire to capture how staff were feeling about mental health within our school. And when we got the results back, we were quite shocked, really. One of the questions was, my school does a lot to promote mental health, and 51% of staff disagreed with that statement. And 8% strongly disagreed, and only 8% agreed. So we knew that was quite a big issue. When we asked about staff culture and the ethos in school, and if there was a focus on emotional health and well-being, 34% of our staff disagreed and 8% strongly disagreed. And also where we asked if staff knew and felt confident of where to find information about emotional health and well-being, 42% said they neither agreed or disagreed, and 28% agreed, said they knew where to find information, and 20% disagreed. So we knew right from the beginning that we had quite a long journey to try and change that ethos really in school. And although I think we're very, very good at promoting the positive mental health of our children and young people, because that is something that we do day in and day out, I knew that quite a big area that we needed to concentrate on was supporting our staff. I think we've always been very good at supporting families, because we were used to working with a range of professionals and focusing so much on the child, that I think one of the areas I wanted to focus more on was what we do for the staff. So first of all, once we'd done the questionnaire, we met as a senior leadership team to review the results of that and look at what we could implement in school to create that awareness and to create that ethos of positive mental health and awareness of mental health within school. So we decided to get a mental health team within school. So we put it out there for all staff, and they applied. And we had 2 staff from the upper school and 2 staff from the lower school, and we trained them to become mental health first aiders. And that was then created as our wellbeing team within school, with me included. So within the wellbeing team, we kind of planned days within school for the children and for the staff. So we did a lovely day on Children's Mental Health Day. We celebrated the bravery of our children. Everyone got involved. We had a big celebration assembly. And for the staff, we did a presentation with support from our educational psychologist as well. We showed some of the results from the questionnaire, and we talked about what we could do as a school to try and improve that. One of the things that we did was a drop-in session with our psychologist as well, just for staff, a one-to-one session. So we offered that out to all staff, and staff that did attend, I did agree for the psychologist to feed back some points, which she did, and we just looked at what we could change within school really. So we really needed to put mental health on the agenda in school. So we wrote a policy, which I know is very much paperwork and procedures, and I didn't want it to just seem like, oh, we'll just write a policy and that's it. We had consultation with staff about the policy and looked at how we are supporting staff mental health, family mental health, and the mental health of our children. And all the wonderful things that we do in school, really, that maybe we take for granted, just so we can kind of raise that awareness as well of everything that we do and how much we do value what the staff do in school and how much they contribute to promoting the positive mental health of our children. Yeah, so the mental health team as well, what we did is we planned different days. We had a emotional mental health morning where we did like reflexology for the staff, and we had a breakfast, and then we had a breakout room. This was pre-COVID, obviously, where staff could just go and chat, and we did some fun games in the hall, just some silly games. It was just to try and bring everyone together. But also we did a lot of displays around school as well. So we had a staff shout out board where we could leave positive messages. We did the bravery awards display, which was lovely to see.
Okay, so you've talked about some of the well-being things that you did with staff, and and I think, to be honest, sharing the results of those the survey results with staff is probably an incredibly powerful thing to do in itself. And for staff to realise that you've listened to it and that you're kind of shocked by it, I think is going to in itself have a huge impact. How have you then sort of managed to work with staff? What kind of things did they ask for from that policy and for things to change?
They didn't particularly ask for anything, but I think, like you say, it's about recognising that we understand that working in an education setting can have a massive effect on your mental health. And I think it was just kind of raising that awareness to say we are aware of it, and although we're doing this project at the minute, we don't want this to be a project that passes us by. We'll do all the work for so many months and then we'll close the project and we'll go back to how we used to be. You know, I said I don't want this just to be a flash in a pan. I want it to make a difference, and I want it to continue. I don't think we've hit the nail on the head, and I don't think we're perfect in any stretch of the imagination, but I think we're still working on promoting that well-being and working with staff. And obviously COVID has been really difficult. We've had a really difficult year in school with the pandemic, and that's affected everyone differently. And I think it's just having that awareness of that and being approachable as well. I mean, we've looked at different ways that we could change attendance management for staff as well, and making sure that if it is mental health related, if absence is mental health related, that when we do a return to school, they're seeing me as the senior lead of mental health for that return to school, and signposting to the relevant agencies where we can. And also what we've done, I think what we've done is we haven't done it on our own. We've worked with multi-professionals, so we work very closely with our educational psychologist, and also we've got a network with some of the other special schools in Derby, so that's been useful as well, to kind of share practice of what they're doing, and issues that they've got, and just to talk to someone who's in a similar boat, really.
So you mentioned about the culture and ethos of the school. Has anything been done with that?
I think ethos, the culture and ethos of the school is one of those things that is difficult to change, but I think that we've put mental health on the agenda and we've put it on the map. Like even just the actual physical building, we've got quite a lot of promotion around mental health just around the building, and posters, displays. Within the the toilets, in the staff toilets, there's posters about the educational partnership where they can contact them if they didn't feel that they could speak to a member of the mental health team. We've got posters promoting who the mental health first aiders are around the school for parents and staff. We do a lot of promotion on mental health within our social media, so we're on Twitter and Instagram. We signpost to different agencies, and over the COVID period, over the lockdown as well, we did a lot of staff briefings and family briefings, and these would include different agencies that we would signpost to support with mental health for staff and families. So I think that was really impactful.
And in terms of those initial surveys to now, have you managed to do any repeat of the surveys or get any feedback from staff?
Yeah, so this is what was really interesting. So we repeated that survey 12 months later, November 2020, and there was a real change in the results. So on the first question of does my school do a lot to promote positive mental health, where previously 51% had disagreed, when we repeated it in November 20, we had 18% strongly agree that we do a lot, and 45% agree that we do a lot to promote mental health, and nobody had answered disagree or strongly disagree. So I think that's, it's quite a big shift, really.
Huge shift, yeah.
And also in the question of school culture and ethos and the focus on emotional health and well-being, where previously in November 19 we'd had that 34% disagreed that our school ethos had a focus on mental health, and only 14% agreed. When we repeated it in November 2020, we had 45% agree that we do, and there is a focus on mental health, and we had 18% strongly agree, and we had 0% disagree or strongly disagree. So that was a real change as well. In the last question about being confident where to find information about mental health and well-being, where previously staff had answered that they 20% disagreed that they knew where to find it, and only 28% agreed that they knew where to find information. We had 45% strongly agree in November 20 and 36% agree. So I think for me, reading that, I would say that shows that they know where to find the information, and I think that's been through the briefings and the promotion of it around school as well.
That's an amazing result. And in terms of you personally, how you felt this journey has been, how have you found it?
Working in the school is fabulous, and like I say, I think we've always done really well at promoting the mental health and emotional well-being of our children and young people, because we're used to working in a multi-professional team. So I think because we have folk and parents and carers as well, I think we've always been very good at supporting their mental health. But like I say, the staff one was probably our biggest area of improvement, and it hasn't been easy, especially with COVID. Obviously it's been a really difficult time for every single school, and I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that we are perfect, and I think we've still got a lot to learn, and I think we're still growing, and we can obviously still develop and do more really to promote that side of things.
Thank you so much for talking to me, Claire, and thank you for listening.